Don't be so quick to start the business and be the boss man. If a couple of years of really honing your skill will accelerate you way past anything else you can do. So let's go into kind of what your question is for a minute. So here's something to think about, Freddie. So right now, and for the next couple of years, is your really true opportunity to hone your craft and get really good at what you're doing. So you might consider, see what you're going to want to do, and I'll ask you this question in a minute, but let me just kind of talk out the framework for a second. You want to get a feel for what your end goal is and what you're going to need, and then build your building blocks to get there. So at any given point in the timeline, you may not be doing what you want to do. You may actually hate it, but it's helping prepare you for what it is you're trying to do, right?
Right.
Some manufacturing, engineering jobs suck, but you get great experience so that one day you can be a really good design engineer, for instance, right? Same thing, if you have incredible technical skill, now you can manage incredibly technically skilled people. See, one of the things, and you've already noticed it in engineering, you got to be really good, really smart, a super nerd, and renew your knowledge literally every 30 days. I mean, imagine how obsolete I am. You're obsolete. Imagine how obsolete I am, right, compared to what's actually going on in the world.
Right.
But I understand and have enough experience in those areas that I know what's going on, and I can get up to speed pretty quickly on something, right? So that's something you ought to think about is, what is my end goal and what is I'm trying to do? Like if I want to run an automation company one day, you might actually want to work building automated equipment for a little while. Like don't be so quick to start the business and be the boss man.
Yeah.
If a couple of years of really honing your skill will accelerate you way past anything else you could do, right? Well, you want to get 2 and 3 and 4 for ones, right? So you want to be able to work in a group that's going to be like the one you want to do one day. Like for me, I knew one day I wanted to teach. So I knew that I probably should work in consulting because I would get a lot of experience in a short period of time. I'd make connections in a lot of different areas. I'd work in a lot of different industries. I'd never be pigeonholed on one project because in consulting, your project changes every 3 weeks. You don't ever get to do the same thing the second time, right?
Right.
So constant experience. I also knew I had to get my PE license, which would look good in academics, right? Hey, I'm licensed in 40-something states.
Right.
I've probably got some authority when I step in front of you in the classroom, right? Even if I don't know how to do it, I can figure out how to do it. So my pattern was building those blocks to help get me so that one day I could teach. Now, along the way, I grew up in small business. I've always been entrepreneurial. I hustled pool and ran a football book in high school. You know, I've always been a hustler and those kind of things. So I knew I would probably gravitate into my own business. But I wasn't in a big hurry to get there. And that's what I'm getting at. I actually had a key spot in my career where I had a choice. I had been the technical engineer. I got my master's degree. I got really good at stuff. And I started working in consulting. And I gravitated over into management, building the department, training people, processes, working customers, sales, and all those kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. And then through a lot of political issues and a big political knife right between my shoulder blades, I got let go. Well, I had a key moment in time. Do I get a job being the manager and the builder and, you know, running a company, or do I get a job as an engineer again? And I got an offer in both, so I could decide what I wanted to do. And I actually went back and I took a job at a company where I went from the smartest person in the building to the dumbest. Like I worked with guys that had PhDs in engineering and had been doing it for 20 and 30 years. They were the best I've ever seen at some of the things they did. Absolutely amazing. And I learned so much in my couple of years working there. I basically retooled all of my engineering skills that had kind of eroded while I was being the manager in the building and all those kind of things, right? And that boost helped me greatly. That's actually when my company started. I actually was moonlighting when I started this company and working at that company. Because I was able to work as an engineer all day and get really technical and really detailed. And then I was able to work as a business person at night and sell and work projects and that kind of thing. So you might want to think about that. I wouldn't immediately jump into, all right, it's time to start my business. Well, you've also got the opportunity to stack cash, connections, and technical ability. So that might be the best spot for you for the first couple of years, is to find something that eventually gets you where you want to get, right?
My current vision, I have the own business, which is working like very smoothly, and also like kind of helping others to grow. And I feel like jumping right now, yeah, obvious too, but I need to learn first how you help to grow one, like, and all the skills that it requires for that,
Sure.
like steps before jumping into that. And I know you told me about your plans and everything with Phoenix, like the other, like besides engineering, the other ones.
Sure.
Uh, and learning from the people, doing that and helping those who grow. I feel like eventually at some point, I can create mine and we help others as well.
100%. Well, and you also know that you're not going to be the smartest person in the room.
I don't like to be the smartest person in the room because
Well, and it may just not connect with you at that level where you're like, yeah, I'm going to be the extreme egghead,
right.
major technical expert engineer, because you have skills in other areas. And that's why I've talked to you in the beginning. You've got an ability that other people don't have, so we definitely want to take advantage of that, right? God-given ability, you've got some things to do with it. So if like 10 years from now you're still working as a technical engineer and not talking to anybody during the day, I'll come find you and beat your ass, right? Because you got bigger things to do. I really love that you're already starting to think about it, because you've definitely got the ability and we definitely need to have you doing it 100%. Go on and fill out that technical skill as best you can, stack cache and all those kind of things while you're figuring out what it is you want to do.